In the 15th century, Portuguese traders established the first systematic Atlantic slave trade, turning human lives into commodities. Over 12 million Africans were forcibly transported across the ocean in chains, creating the foundation for Europe's economic boom. Liverpool's docks and London's financial districts grew fat on profits from this black gold, with slave traders becoming some of England's wealthiest citizens. This marked the beginning of a brutal economic system where human suffering directly translated into imperial power. The unimaginable profits from slave plantations directly funded Britain's Industrial Revolution. Birmingham's ironworks, producing chains for slaves, later manufactured steam engines. Liverpool's slave trade profits built the world's first commercial wet dock in 1715, creating the infrastructure for global trade. By 1750, slavery contributed £50 million annually to Britain, over £7 trillion in today's value. This blood money became the invisible foundation beneath every factory, railway, and mill that would make Britain the workshop of the world. Britain's Royal Navy, the instrument of its global dominance, was built on slavery's profits. Slave trade taxes funded 40% of naval ships during the 18th century. The HMS Victory, Nelson's flagship at Trafalgar, was constructed using West Indian slave wealth. Even the royal dockyards employed slaves until 1807. This military might then protected and expanded the slave trade itself, an endless cycle where violence begat wealth, which begat more violence. By 1815, Britain controlled 40% of the global slave trade, while boasting the world's most powerful navy. In 1833, Britain abolished slavery, but paid £20 million in compensation to slave owners, not victims. This sum, equal to 40% of the national budget, created generational wealth for aristocrats, while freed slaves received nothing. The money funded country estates, railroads, and even institutions like All Souls College, Oxford. Meanwhile, former slaves were forced into indentured labor. This established an economic apartheid where the beneficiaries of slavery maintained power through new systems of exploitation, preserving the status quo under a veneer of reform. Today's global inequality maps perfectly onto historical slave roots. The City of London remains a financial superpower, while former colonies struggle with debt. Tech companies build fortunes using minerals mined by underpaid workers in former slave economies. The IMF and World Bank, dominated by former slave powers, impose conditions that maintain this imbalance. From colonial land grabs to modern tax havens, the system has simply evolved. The chains are now invisible in algorithms, trade agreements, and financial instruments, but their weight remains just as real.